April 23rd, and the markets are rocketing up and down. And that, well, Doge is down 20% today, so I guess they're going down. But we as a community, we come together, right? If we want to go to the moon, we want to make it to the moon, we got to come together. So a lot of big news today. We have a few guests with us. So Zach, as always, let's bring back Zach. And
hello,
we have Waseem, who's celebrating 2 years with Celsius. You see, he hasn't slept for 2 years. So welcome. Thanks for joining the...
Thanks for having me, guys.
AMA, yeah. And Waseem used to, before Zach, Waseem used to be my co-host and help produce a bunch of these in the early days. If you go back like to season 1, we're on season 3 now. We'll go back to season 1. You'll see some Waseem in there.
Yeah, so, my production value doesn't meet what we have now, but it was a good time.
Yeah, you're definitely doing a better job with the dev and product development team than as a video producer. So, but back then we only had, how many employees we had back then?
I was number 17, and we were in the New York office with maybe 7, 8 other people.
Unbelievable. Yes, look at us now. So a lot of big news. Amazing to see the world's one of the world's largest exchanges, NASDAQ, listing a crypto exchange, right? Coinbase is a crypto exchange. So seeing those guys list another exchange, which is going to eat its lunch, right? Because all the tokenized securities and everything else is going to move to Coinbase or Coinbase-like exchanges. So it's like definitely seeing the beginning of that transition from old finance to new finance. So that was a great IPO or ICO. It was probably closer to an ICO because the founders and the top employees were dumping their shares on, like the CFO sold 100% of his shares on the first day of trading. And Coinbase started trading at 2:30 p.m. So he didn't even have a lot of time, but he managed to get rid of all of it. So, and I did a lot of thinking, kind of trying to figure out why Elon only talks about Doge and Bitcoin. Why isn't Elon talking about Ethereum? And then it dawned on me, Ethereum runs on gas, and obviously Elon only believes in electrical cars. So
there it is. There's the dad joke.
Drop a bomb, yeah, dad joke. So the markets are all red. So I thought I'll squeeze in at least something positive.
Thanks for lightening the mood.
Try to make the guys laugh a little bit, since they're all looking at they're glued to their screens, looking at, oh my God, everything is down 10 or 15%. Look, last AMA, I told you winter is coming. Sell some now. Take some money off the table, especially if you're on margin. And people are like, what is he talking about? This thing is going to the moon. No, there's always stops to the moon. So now is when you should be loading back up, right? Now you should be taking that money that hopefully you sold last week and putting it back to work slowly, right? Because there might be several more stops down before we start going up. Or, for example, buying GBTC. GBTC is trading at an 11% discount. You can buy Bitcoin right now through the public market at an 11% discount with the low prices that you already have. So today is a great day to buy GBTC. And so if you are thinking about entering crypto, you're thinking about buying Bitcoin, you can go to your Fidelity account or your Charles Schwab account or whatever and buy some GBTC. And it's basically the same thing. It will track the performance of Bitcoin, more or less. Also, we're toying with the idea of calling us basically, we're really a passive income company, right? I mean, we're allowing you to earn yield with passive income, and so we're toying with ideas of what is the tagline, what is that tagline that we should use for the company. So if you have any ideas of how we should do this or what we should use as far as wording, let us know. And we would love to kind of pick, obviously, one of your ideas. Again, Celsius, the name Celsius came from the community. One of our top 300 holder top 300 Cell token holder is the guy who came up with the name Celsius for Celsius. He used to be an intern from NYU working for us. So there's nothing better than that. Nothing better than giving credit to the people who actually made it happen, right? You guys, the community, right? It's not about us bragging about how smart we are or how great we are or whatever. So we also made several investments. Luxor, which is a mining company that helps optimize mining. Credo, which is a company that helps with institutional transactions, making it secure and safe. So a lot of great activity, a lot of good stuff happening. And we also, a lot of people ask me, well, Alex, why don't you have any Doge in the wallet? Why don't you add Doge or some other coin? And first things we cannot yield on, we cannot add, but also things that do not have real utility. Doge still does not have real utility. It doesn't matter that it's up a few $1,000%. It still does not have utility. So for those things, we are very careful. You want to buy it personally, you want to hold it somewhere else, great. But we don't want to be an enabler for things that we don't believe are long-term projects. So good news, BNB and ADA are going to be added in May. So you'll be able to deposit and earn yield both on your BNB and ADA. And ETH2 will be paying 8%, launching in probably a week or two in the wallet. So you'll be able to earn record income on your ETH and help support the new developments on the ETH platform.
Right, those are huge. Those are huge announcements right there. Okay, so when Cardano has been a Celsius Telegram meme for years now. So you're saying Cardano is coming to the app next month, and then also Binance Coin, their native coin. And then on top of that, we're going to be having ETH2 at 8%.
Yes. And more to come, right? So we think we can get really high yields on BNB and ADA, higher than just the staking. So I think the community is going to love what we've done. It took a little bit longer than we wanted, but we're finally ready to get these out. ADA was supposed to be a Q3, so we are managing to squeeze it into a Q2 release. Since people always complain that I'm keep pushing things out, so here is and about, hey, we didn't talk about you see under my name, you can see that I'm coming to you from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm here. My daughter, my 16-year-old Natalie, has her sweet 16th birthday, so I surprised her yesterday by showing up, and I'm going to hang out here with her for a few days. I'm sure her friends, they're just going to have 100 friends here. I'm not going to get a minute of her time, but at least I'll enjoy seeing her. So I'm in Memphis today, this weekend, and great to be here, spend time with the family. All right, so also 0% loans in Australia. So if you're in Australia, it's not even 1%. It's now 0%. It's kind of similar to what we're doing in the UK. So I love that. Again, I think it's going live like next week or something like that. But just giving you heads up that if you want to take a loan, get it ready. This will be the best loan you can get. And we love the fact that we can give people money with no interest. They don't even have to pay interest. That's amazing. So, all right, let's talk about, again, markets going down means that people that took loans have to worry about their collateral, right? So if you took a loan recently, let's say 50% LTV, it's only down 10% or whatever, so it's not affecting you, but you need to keep in the back of your head that if it continues to go down, you may need to post more collateral, and you need to post that collateral in the same form, meaning if you took a loan against Bitcoin, you need to post more Bitcoin, or you can return the dollars, or you can instruct us to sell some of your coins, right? So those are the three options you have. But the main point is our entire book, which is several $billion, has only less than 25% LTV, meaning Bitcoin can go down 50%, and most of our customers are still not going to get a margin call. So for those of you who are worried about, wow, Celsius now has $17 billion, and what if there's a cascade or whatever, like suddenly, oh, their loans get liquidated. Just a few days ago, $10 billion got liquidated on Binance, on other futures markets, right? Celsius had zero liquidations, right? I mean, our customers, we don't lend at 5x or 10x leverage, right? We do 50% max, meaning 0.5% compared to 5x or 10x that people do on Binance or BitMEX or all these other exchanges.
So we started communicating yesterday, right, that once we see volatility coming into the markets, we want to get ahead of the game to let people know, hey, things are getting a little crazy. Watch out for your loan, add some more collateral, get ahead of it. So if things go wild, you're prepared, and then you're not pushed into an ugly zone. So it's all about prevention. We don't want to liquidate you. That's the worst case scenario. We want to help you be prepared for that in all circumstances.
That tweet also got picked up by Zero Hedge. So like, doing well by the community seems to be getting attention these days too.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, we've done this in March 2020 when the markets went down 50%, right? We issued a warning a day before, and people were like, how did you know the market was going down? We're like, we didn't know the market was going down. We were just watching volatility and warning our community, So again, markets can go down tomorrow. And like Zach said, you got to be ready. You got to prepare ahead. But if you took a 25% loan, you're not going to need to do anything, right? You just need to just know what your levels are. You can always look inside the wallet and see what the numbers tell you, like how close or not close you are. And again, you'll get another notification from us if you're close to a margin call. And margin call doesn't mean we sold your assets or stole your coins or whatever. That's what the other guys do. We always give you ample time to post more collateral, again, return some of the assets, or instruct us to sell your coins. So, all right. So what else do we have today? We have plenty of news. Zach, no? All right. I'll
sorry,
continue.
right in the middle of typing. No,
okay.
Yeah. I don't know if Waseem want to start with some stats or talk about what he's working on today. He's been on the team for a couple of years now, has really seen us grow from a small 17-person company to hundreds of people now and billions in assets. But we have some great stats for this week. It seems like with the dip and with the market volatility, Celsians are still hodling and still transferring to the app in record numbers.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to see. Like Celsians tend to be the ones that buy the dips, I guess. So this year or this week, we had $98 million in net transfers, which is net. So like, deposits and withdrawals, what comes in, what comes out. The net is 98 million. When I started, we had $37 million in assets under management. Now we're doing that in 3x that in a week. It's insane. And then we also had like 20,000 registrations. I don't know how many of them came from, Zach hand-to-hand combating, onboarding people in Miami. But, really incredible to see these kinds of things.
No, so I got to come down here for Miami Crypto Expo. It's been an amazing time. Kim has been able to build amazing relationships with people down here. People love Celsius. They love the loans. They're asking, I've heard about you guys. You guys are for real. What are you doing? I watch the AMAs. They love us. So we're down here making person-to-person contact. Like I said, Kim has been able to talk with a ton of creators, a ton of influencers. We're building this business. We have huge fans. They love our swag. Like, we're on top of the world.
You're also definitely famous. I keep getting DMs from people on Twitter and on Instagram with like selfies with Zach. So,
Well, how can I help it? Tom turned me into a fantastic meme. So Tom's killing it with the memes. It's a team effort here.
Yeah, no, it's great. But and like Waseem said, it's definitely encouraging to seeing this consistent behavior where hodlers are the ones buying in the dips, because otherwise we would have seen big withdrawals. We would have seen slowdown in deposits. We're seeing exactly the opposite. Every time there's a dip in the market, we're seeing record deposits. So it's really a hodler community, which is unique. I don't think there's any other hodler community like this in crypto. When you join this type of thinking, right? The thinking that at the end of the year, at the end of the decade, you will have more coins than anyone else. All those other guys who are on Binance trading coins in and out, whatever, you're probably going to have more coins than them, because earning yield and sitting on your hands and adding in when markets go down is the right strategy. So
and making it like paying you every week makes hodling so much easier, because you're not, I think traders kind of have this anxiety that if they don't trade, they're going to lose out. And as a hodler, every Monday we're getting paid. So it makes us feel much more comfortable that we're not missing out on anything, because we know those rewards are going to keep coming in.
Right, and exchanges hate hodlers because they make money when you trade. They don't make any money when you just sit on your hands. So they, they want you to see the price move it. They want you to get worried. They want you to get scared, right, and sell or FOMO in just at the top of the market, because that's how they make money, right? Volume, right?
Their utility is volatility, right? We're here trying to put real utility in your pockets.
We harvest volatility to extract yield, and they harvest volatility by charging you fees, right?
Which side do you want to be on? Do you want to pay the fees, or do you want to receive the fees?
Exactly. Very well said. All right, great. So amazing numbers. Again, the team is exhausted. Everybody on the team looks like me and Waseem, right? Only Zach gets to sit in the sun and enjoy Florida, Miami from Arizona to Miami, or from Vegas to Miami. That's you got more sun than the rest of the company put together. So I think. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think Celsius is the fastest fintech in history to get to 10 billion and soon 20 billion, right? So we're inviting the community to prove or disprove that, right? This idea that Celsius is the fastest growing fintech in history. So comparing notes to PayPal, or comparing us to Venmo or Cash App, or anyone out there. We want to kind of make a story out of it, present it to media. So if you guys are interested in helping us dig in through who else are we competing against and how fast they got to their numbers, let's try to prove the fact, because I think it's going to be a cool thing to be able to say, right, that we kind of broke all previous records, and we did that by doing good and then doing well, right? I think most of the other guys are just doing great for themselves. All right. So what else? I have the notes here.
Yeah, I think if we could roll this video, Tom put together a video about our event here yesterday. In 24 hours, he threw this together, and it looks like it's a professional commercial. So Tom, if you could play that, we'll roll that.
I don't just love Celsius, I respect Celsius for the work that they've done, and I respect Alex as well. He is an amazing human being and hard worker. And yeah, Celsius being really amazing. I mean, if you think about it, it's one of the actual projects that dedicated their funding to doing what they promised to do, okay? And importantly, integrated with the traditional finance.
no matter what, you will be earning on whatever the value is. And then in addition, you still maintain ownership of those coins without locking it up, which seems better than any traditional CD or other different types of investment accounts that you can get at more traditional financial institutions.
I mean, I'm seeing like people that have just got like a great joy and a love for the community that is centered around crypto. Like everybody, I've not met a single mean person here. Like they've all been absolutely incredible.
I've actually been a fan of Celsius for many, many years, and I've been seeing Kim on Clubhouse and on the AMAs, and I absolutely love her vibe. I know she's big for women into crypto, and I love the Celsius company, so we were just kind of connecting. I wanted to introduce myself. I heard she was going to be here, so I was really excited.
So I first heard about Celsius because I met Alex Mashinsky at a conference.
Oh yeah, the machine.
The machine.
Yeah.
And you know, he's so honorable and like trusting that I really brought like a lot of other people onto his platform as well. I've recommended a bunch of clients. Kim, I used to work with the Blockchain Center here in Miami, and Celsius and the Blockchain Center had a pretty close relationship. And what was really cool about Alex though is like, and I tell people this because I don't like to recommend products to people. I like to say, this is what I use. If you like it, you know, let me know, but do your own research. But Alex makes it so easy because he does those AMAs every single Friday.
Yeah, great job, Kim and Zach. Great job over there touching the community. It doesn't even look like COVID. I don't say no one has a mask. Everybody's just having fun, having drinks. I'm so jealous.
The ambassadors, we had 5 or 6 ambassadors come down and volunteer to take video to help us at the booth. So again, the community is fantastic, and we love you guys. Thank you.
Just like you used to do 3 years ago, you know.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my God. Do you remember actually Zach flew to Las Vegas, stayed in the same hotel room as me, like we'd never met before. And like
Waseem was kind enough to let a stranger share a room with him, right? This crazy fan of Celsius that he only met from Telegram. And I come and I got to help set up the booth, and it was great.
And he didn't kill me, so you know it worked out well. So.
Yeah.
So Waseem, you left New York. You're now in Austin. You opened our office over there. Why don't you talk about what's happening there? What is the crypto / tech scene in Austin these days?
For sure. No, Austin crypto scene is incredible. Like we have so many good projects out here. I know there's news that like PayPal and Venmo just launched their buy crypto, in-app. He's the guy who runs that product team is my neighbor. There's a little crypto Illuminati out here in Austin, but the team that we're looking to grow is for the strategy / innovation team. So the kind of intent, right, is that we want to continually have Celsius be at the forefront of everything that's going on, whether that's like how you increase the utility of your holdings. So we had this article we released not too long ago called, interoperability, kind of showing people what the card program will look like, what on-ramps will look like, getting paychecks into your wallet, all that kind of stuff. We actually just hired a new head of payments who will be joining that team shortly. But the point of the Austin office is to get as much of this innovation throughput going as possible. So we're now hiring some top tier developers. We'll be working to ship out some right now our development process goes through, we do the planning, we have the stage breakdown, and we get it into backlog of the main app. But as you guys know, we're launching the web app soon. You've been seeing the throughput on the website, like so many changes coming on there all the time. We're now trying to do the same kind of thing with some of these, if we want to test on-ramps that are going through instant ACH, instead of having it go through the main app immediately, we can launch something quickly, test it out, get it out the door. So we're calling the development team the Delta Force, and really growing that discipline out here in Austin. And man, the caliber.
But I heard a rumor you only hire Babson College graduates. Is it?
I haven't had. Yeah, most of the success in my hires has just been because the Babson, people that field through all the other candidates. They're doing the job for me. I'm just hiring straight from there. But Babson is not a there's no developers. We're hiring like specialists now, kind of moving out from the analyst space. So we're the caliber of people that are joining. It's ridiculous. Like people that have been in traditional fintech, traditional payments for years, built the infrastructure that you guys use like on a day-to-day basis when things were just moving from cash to electronic. Like we're getting some incredible talent out here, and they're not all just people anymore.
And we just hired one of the top architects out of Ripple, right? So he just joined us. A few other people, like you mentioned, we haven't made those announcements yet, but definitely amazing talent join. But you need, how many people, how many heads are you looking for? Like what?
So we'll be posting job postings soon for developers. We're looking for 2 full stackers, and then we have so many projects coming through the pipeline. We will need project managers just continuously. So we're putting together like a process for vetting and how we kind of appoint these people on different projects. But just as an example, right? We had gone through, and one of the like beautiful things about the blockchain is that it is a triple entry accounting system. At any time you make a transaction, it is recorded somewhere. There is a ledger input about that. And, Celsius is a business built on top of the blockchain. So we just did a whole account reconciliation using on-chain data to prove assets, to show where everything is and so on. But, that becomes a whole job. It becomes something that we need to have someone hire someone to come, maintain and manage. So we're right now hiring for that. But if you think logically about where on-chain accounting can go, right? This is where things get really geeky, really cool. Like you no longer need to have auditing firms that come in and stamp your books once a month. You can have firms that just stamp the process of doing the auditing. You have the transactions constantly settling on chain. It's irrefutable. No one can say that this blockchain transaction is not the blockchain transaction unless they have 51% of the hash power or the staking pool. And if you have an auditing firm stamp your process, then you can have literally your books live at all times. So we had just done this short-term process in the innovation team, right, where we hire a specialist who's able to, take that logic and really expand upon it, and then a project manager to work with the different team members to continue to scale that discipline. And that's kind of how my team, how the strategy innovation team has been, seeking to grow. We work internally, we get something done, we find the experts, we put them in place, and we find the managers and make sure that everything is constantly flowing. So right now, the team members that we're looking for are the ones who will be kind of there with us at the beginning stages of everything. And then the specialists we have already made our hires for, and they're some of the most incredible humans that, I could imagine working on these problems.
Yeah, and we announced twice. I mean, we used chain analysis to do exactly what you just described when we had 3.3 billion, I think, then at 10 billion. And I guess we're going to have to do it soon again because we're going to cross 20. Well, now the markets are down, but so it's going to take us a little longer, but we're going to cross 20. We got to do that again. Maybe talk about the proof of community because you have all 10 fingers in it. So explain to people what it is. It's kind of a continuation of what you just talked about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the whole point of decentralized architecture is that like anyone can kind of come in, look and understand what's going on. You can see settlements happening on a public ledger. So as a financial institution that I'm not wearing the shirt, but I used to have the one that says banks are not your friends. The reason that, one of the biggest reasons that a bank is not your friend is that they're opaque. You don't actually see what is going on behind closed doors. Celsius as it is a centralized entity executing on decentralized architecture. We want to make as much of our books, as much of our operations as transparent as possible. So proof of community is an effort to put all of our, actual interactions onto a chain that we can stamp, and someone can go through and prove backwards that these transactions are, real and they're not made up. Because everything, again, is settling on a distributed ledger. So if you want to see user count, if you want to see, do we have more Bitcoin in assets than we have in liabilities? If you want to see the number of institutional loans that went out in one of whatever 45 coins that we maintain. All of that information happens on chain, and proof of community is a layer on top of that to make it kind of digestible for people to go in and constantly keep an eye on us. Instead of having the like invisible hand there being invisible, and it's been pickpocketing people for years. We want to make that as visible as possible so people can keep it accountable and make sure Celsius is always operating in the best interest of the community.
Yeah, we twisted the invisible hand to make deposits into your pocket instead of stealing stuff out of your pocket. So you can actually see the blockchain. I mean, I hope it's going to launch next month in May or beginning of June, and you'll be able to actually see. You can track, you can verify that the invisible hand is by force putting deposits back into your wallets every week. So it's turning this on its head, right? Turning the bad into the good, pulling the community together, right? Pulling enough assets, enough resources where we can dictate rates. We can force exchanges to basically pay us, right? To borrow these assets, the assets you used to give them for free. And the same thing with institutions, and the same thing with DeFi and everything else. All these 5 or 6 sources of income that we have, which are, again, amazing. We're about to cross, I mean, I don't know when it's going to happen, but we're about to cross $500 million in interest paid out to the community. $500 million. I mean, it's just a crazy number, right? And I couldn't be happier. Like, people are like, oh my God, why did you give these people so much money? Why are you giving them everything? Don't you want to keep most of it to yourself? No.
Also, just to tack onto that too, like, being able to be such a large institution that has the ability to, have the leverage on behalf of our users to work in their best interest. Projects like Proof of Community might sound like something that just Celsius will do, but we kind of envision this to also be the standard of how, financial operations should be accounted for entities that are similar to Celsius. So going forward, not only are we going to be pulling the blood out of these, blood suckers that have been taking things away from all their users for however many years, we will also be forcing them to hold themselves more accountable, saying this is the standard. If you want to do business with Celsius, if you want to have asset exposure to the largest holder of all of these assets, you have to implement these things that Celsius deems as necessary. So, transparency and being able to show, on chain, we're working in the best interests of our users, and then having enough leverage to continually demand that from these institutions. If you think I started when Celsius was at 3 cents, the Cell token was at 3 cents with $37 million in assets. It's still, very, very, very early innings, and we're at like 17 billion, soon to 20. I'll stop geeking out about it, but it's bigger than I think most of us can imagine.
And this is Celsius setting the standard.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to be the number one. We're going to be the most transparent. We're going to pay the most, and everyone's going to have to compare to us. Say, well, why would I go anywhere else but Celsius? They show me everything on chain. They show me all the assets, and they pay me the most money. So you're going to have to beat us instead of us coming in and trying to beat the banks.
So I'm watching the comments, and I see a lot of people are saying this Waseem guy is super smart guy. Let me tell you how smart this guy is. When Cell token was 3 cents, Waseem would volunteer in the office of 17. He would volunteer to go and get coffee or burritos or anything for everyone. And then people would be like, well, let me give you $20. He's like, no, just Cell pay me. So he sold these, he basically would pay in dollars and collect Cell at 3 cents. And he's been hodling since. He doesn't tell us where he is on the top 500, but he's definitely sitting pretty today. Because
I will say though, I used some of those tokens to buy my Jeep. I bought it at when Cell was worth $1.50. The guy actually took payment in Cell token for the car. That when it ripped to it's now at $5 or something. I could have bought like a Jaguar or something with them.
That's right. You could have bought a Tesla. We have, don't we have a what we have a
Oh yeah.
video? Or yeah, let's bring it
today I
up.
was talking on the floor with someone that he took a 1% loan to get a Tesla. So Tom, if you could roll that video, that was pretty sweet.
A popular cryptocurrency YouTuber, so I tried to go viral. It didn't really work, but it was a great time. I got a Tesla out of it, so I didn't want to spend my company's money. We have a lot in the reserves for cryptocurrency, a lot, and I was like, yo, I'm not going to sell Bitcoin at $40,000 when it could appreciate to 100 grand, but I want my Tesla, right? Because I was driving a very bad, 200,000 plus miles on my car.
The beater.
Yeah, the beater, right? We're driving, and I was like multimillionaire CEO driving a beater. I got to get a Tesla. I got to look legit.
Right.
So I took a loan out, the 1%,
Okay.
25% collateralization ratio.
Yeah.
It was like I think 180,000 to pull out a $60,000 loan. And I went to Tesla, non-taxable event, because it's cash on the crypto. Bought it cash, and it didn't go viral. So hopefully this makes me viral.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
yes,
sweet,
sir.
Man.
Yeah, so cool, man.
Yeah, so this guy is super smart, because instead of giving his Bitcoin to Elon Musk, exchanging Bitcoin with Elon Musk, where Elon gets to keep the Bitcoin and you get a Tesla that depreciates in value, he took a 1% loan. Right, and obviously he's hodling his Bitcoin and so on. So definitely the right way to do it. All right, so let's get into the news a little bit. I'll share the screen, run you through the latest. So this is Reddit, right? We came up with this new idea where we're gonna pay $100 to the guy, whoever the question that gets voted the best or the most. And this way, people on Reddit and then other mediums, Twitter and others, can basically make sure that their questions get asked. So do we want to do it now, or we'll do it later?
Yeah. Scroll down a little bit. It's the one about asking if I should switch from Celsius to Nexo. Yeah, that's the one right there.
There we go. So yeah, so this was the question of should. That's a funny question, you know.
Yeah.
Should I
read the whole
switch?
thing though? It's great.
Yeah, I'm thinking of switching from Celsius to Nexo. Nexo has a web interface. Well, Celsius has a web interface too, and the swap option and so on, so on. Well, look, the most important thing, and you should compare Celsius to others. If there's somebody else who's doing a better job than Celsius, then you need to switch over. But like Zach was saying before, paying attention to transparency. Okay, where are these guys located? Do they have an office? Can I go visit them? Are they registered in the right jurisdictions, and so on, so on. So just dig into that, right? I mean, Nexo copied every part of our website, every part of our promotional stuff, but they omitted all the things they don't have. So when you go and compare side by side, make sure that they show you the things like, for example, proof of community, like the licenses that we filed for, right? All the registration, everything else. But basically, this guy, I think, did his analysis and decided that he's going to stick with Celsius. So if you want, go to Reddit, look it up. But basically, every week we're going to be picking one of the top questions, and the winner is going to get $100.
Can I add one thing?
Sure.
For that one. When you look at competitors too, like they might have a feature breadth that looks really nice. Like you're like, oh, they have an exchange or they have swaps. The reason why it takes long to launch a good set of swaps, or why it takes long to launch a good card, is because you can go out the door and build some, and just send some white label thing for your users so you have the feature, but then you're paying horrible spreads. So your Bitcoin, you're buying at in a higher rate, something like 15-16% higher. Your card, you're loading up with a 1% fee on top of paying the 3% fee every time you swipe it. So just something to think about too when you're like really looking to decide about a company and their feature set, is try and like understand how their fee structure works. And that's why for every product that we release, Alex is always like, make sure you put next to it how much it costs on other places, because we'll make the math easier for you guys.
Right, because we focus on making money on generating yield. We don't charge any fees on anything else, right? So other people charge you fees everywhere, right? They already have you, they have your money, and now basically every time you move a swap or whatever, they try to make a fee on top of that. So you have to look at all the offerings, not just comparing one of them. That's what they want you to do, right? They want you to just compare one item and say, look, there's one little thing that we're a little bit better than Celsius, and then we rip you off everywhere else. Anyway, Binance hires former bank regulator, right? Brian Brooks. Brian's a great guy. I mean, he definitely helped the crypto community. I think he came out of Coinbase originally, and we'll see what it does in Binance US. We'll see what happens, but definitely regulators jumping around very quickly, going from basically the government to companies. There should be a cool off period. I think, Waseem, you had a comment on this too, right?
Yeah. Like, when an industry starts to really mature, they call it the revolving door. You end up having people that are going in to regulate the industry that they end up working in. You're starting to see that happen within the world of crypto. And like at the end of the day, all that, something like Ethereum is a settlement network. And if the people that are in charge of the settlement network, saying like ACH, Visa, all this kind of stuff, are recognizing Ethereum settlement layer as something of value, enough to the point where they end up being, they end up in there as the regulators. They end up going to big companies like Binance US. That says something about where we are as an industry in our, adoption phase of the technology.
Yep. Bitcoin, the UK considers new digital currencies. So we talked about the CBDCs, right? So basically,
did you write this article title, Alex?
Yeah, right. But basically, every country in the world now is their central bank is scratching their head, saying, "Gosh, what am I doing? How do I stay relevant in the world of stable coins and Bitcoin?" And they're all racing to try to come up with an alternative. You got to remember that none of these offers, none of these things that central banks are working on, not in China, not in Canada or the US, none of them are limited supply, meaning they're just going to continue printing, and it's going to be digital version instead of regular version. All right, so this is DeFi Rate. If you've seen DeFiRate.com for a long time, there was only one company missing there, and that was Celsius. So guess what? They finally decided to include Celsius, and you can see how we rank here compared to all the other guys. So now you can look at apples versus apples, and you can look at all the different rates for all the different categories and really see how Celsius compares. I don't think they include any of the cell token benefits, but at least you can easily compare apples to apples. This news just came out. Fireblocks and Celsius partnered to use zero knowledge proof. This is what Waseem was talking about before. It's the same technology we use for proof of community. So we're also using this to enable institutional traders to transact in a more safe and secure way. So if you haven't read this, again, Google this and you'll be able to find it. And again, here's another X margin of Fireblocks using Celsius as well. So definitely we are on the cutting edge of enabling all these new amazing technologies across.
Yeah, Alex, I saw that about X margin. Could you tell us more about what that really means?
Sure. Yeah. So basically the problem that you have today is that when you lend to third parties, right? When you give them coins, you really have to trust them. You're hoping that they will do everything right and they will not do something stupid and they will return the coins and so on. But using Fireblocks and X margin, you can basically put the coins into a dedicated account, which has limits. So you can basically, even though it's not your account, you, meaning Celsius, on behalf of the community, can guard the activity inside the wallet to be within the range of risk and activities that we approve. So for example, we say, hey, you're not allowed to short Bitcoin. So we can watch all the transactions, and the borrower cannot withdraw those coins. The hedge fund or the institution cannot withdraw those coins and use them for something else. So that's really the main benefit. And we can forcefully withdraw them if we see that they're doing something that is not right. So these are very unique technologies that have not been it's almost impossible to do that today, right? You can't go into somebody's Goldman Sachs account and take his Apple stock. But here we can basically pool your ETH or your Bitcoin and make sure that we're doing things right. Finance magnets, again, this is the article that I mentioned before. So Carl joined us from Ripple, right? He was one of their top architects, and he's going to help us work on all the things that Waseem and Zach just talked about. So if you want to learn more about Carl, an amazing guy, really, really innovative. He's got more ideas than me. He's spitting those ideas faster than me. I'm like, wait a second, slow down. I'm still thinking about your first idea. You're already on your fifth. So very exciting for us, and a great addition, great talent, and he's super excited. And again, it's not like we're poaching him out of Ripple. We're actually looking to increase what we're doing with Ripple. And Carl is already helping us kind of architect different solutions, different ways of doing things on the Ripple or XRP networks. So I wrote this op-ed. Again, this is on Medium. So if you haven't had a chance to read it, what does the Coinbase listing means? So there's a pretty good write-up here, and you're welcome to read it. NASDAQ published why institutions are extensively using DeFi. So again, Celsius is a bridge for institutions to use DeFi. A lot of institutions have a problem actually accessing DeFi directly, but they can do it through Celsius. So again, 17 out of the 50 billion is Celsius, right? So we're by far the largest participant in those markets. You've seen us list on OKX. So again, we're launching a bunch of stuff with them, really exciting. So keep going on here. Best app for Bitcoin. Guess what? Guess who they selected? Best app. Okay, so go look it up, and you'll see us there as well. And Sell Bytes. Again, Tom and the team putting these together. There's 4 or 5 of them every week, sometimes 2 a day.
We can't hear it.
Oh, you can't?
No.
All right, so I gotta get off the here. I'll disconnect 1 second. How about now?
Nope, still nothing.
So,
oh, there you go.
I mean, Coinbase announced $1 billion in profits for last year, and most of it is that 7% fee, right? The what do you call it? The credit fee and everything else. So imagine if you didn't have to pay any fees, right? So moving on, yeah, we got again. This is from last week. We showed you a bunch of stuff about where the industry spent $28 billion. This $28 billion that was raised for different projects, and Celsius is right here. Here is Celsius with their raise. Okay, today we're one of the largest projects out of all of these guys. You know,
hey, look at the biggest ones: Telegram, EOS, and Tata 2. Is that what, if I read that correctly? And what are they doing today? You know,
nothing. Yes, exactly. Nothing for the community, I would say.
There's not a lot of Bitcoins. Like if you need a lot of Bitcoins, it's very hard to get the real stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just so moving on here. Wow, it's all me and Nook.
So we've been talking about that for a while now. This will allow us to put on the chain all your history and interest payments and so on, and it will be in a way that is anonymous and private.
So this is Nook also talking about proof of community coming out soon. I did a MOIP show with George Gammon. If you missed it, you can look at it on YouTube, sign up, and again, hit the notification button this way. Thanks everyone for joining another episode of Money Over IP, the MOIP show. I have with me George Gammon, who many of you know as a YouTuber, both as someone who shares his knowledge and helps. So again, just sign up. That's how you know that these things are coming. Again, this is another, this is retro, going back to 2018. And so you have to think of basically like hardware as the foundation, right? So you have like a building. It needs a basement, it needs pillars that go into the ground to keep it stable. It needs concrete, it needs steel, it needs all that stuff. That's a foundation, right? Then on top of that, you need electronics, right? You need all kind of other, you need electricity. So each one of these things is a floor, right? The internet is just one floor in the building, right? And on top of the internet, without that floor, without the third floor, you cannot build the fourth floor. And without the fourth floor, you can't build the fifth floor, and so on. So every few years, we basically realize that we can build another floor on top of the infrastructure, right? So this is me kind of doing an analogy and explaining what crypto is all about. Again, plenty of content. You guys are missing it if you're not signed up. If you don't hit the subscribe button, put the bell, right? Smash the button and learn more and more. We do this content. We spend a lot of time on it to educate the noobs, the people who are trying to catch up, get up to speed, and definitely very easy to consume that on video. That's how I do most of my learning. So definitely, try to consume as much of that as possible. Share it and let others benefit from it as well. All right, let's do rapid fire because there's like hundreds of questions that we haven't even got to. We'll keep the answers super quick.
They're antsy. Remember, rapid fire, Alex. Rapid, keyword rapid. Okay. Victor's asking a question. Actually, I could start off with he's saying, what about a bonus for transfers out of BlockFi? So a few weeks ago, we did the unblock promo, and we are going to bring that same style back. So it's going to be a larger transfer for something like a $500 reward. Our community loved it. Everybody loved it. We got a bunch of crypto in. So we are going to bring that back.
A bunch of crypto. You're being modest. $600 million in 1 week.
To some that might be a lot, but okay.
Here we go. You spoiled him, Waseem. Look at him.
Dude, I keep meeting with like fund managers, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, we're a $50 million manager." I'm like, one part of my brain is like, "Oh wow, that's so much money," and then my other part of my brain is like, "That's like half a week at Celsius."
Yeah, that's a decent thing.
It messed us up completely.
Yeah. Okay, crypto lovers asking, will the recent crash affect Celsius's business, and is the risk now higher for Celsians?
Yeah, so Celsius is not dollar denominated. When you're dollar denominated, you are worrying every day about the price of Bitcoin, what's going to happen, am I losing money or making money? We have whatever 80, 90,000 Bitcoin, 80,000 from the community, about 10,000 from collateral from institutions, so just about over 92,000 Bitcoins. What we care about is, can we earn yield on these Bitcoins? That's the only thing we focus on. We don't care if Bitcoin is 20,000 or 50,000 or 100,000.
One Bitcoin is always one Bitcoin.
Exactly. Like Tim Draper always says, right? One Bitcoin is always one Bitcoin. So if you think in those terms, then all you focused on is yield generation, making the network safe, making sure that your customers are going to pay you back, like what we're doing with X Margin and Fireblocks, and you're building more and more walls. You're making your business better and better and better. So I would definitely say we are best at what we do. We're the best yield company in crypto. We consistently pay more than anybody else, and that's all we're focused on.
Yeah. Okay. Another great question here. Carlos is asking, will you have to lock in ETH2 like in other platforms to get that 8% yield?
Yes, you do. You need to lock it in. So basically, you're going to have two listings of ETH in the Celsius wallet. You're going to have ETH and ETH2. The regular ETH is not locked, and you can withdraw it at any time. The ETH2 is locked for as long as ETH2 is locked, meaning it's not up to us. We don't decide, oh, we don't want you to withdraw. Like a lot of these semi-yield companies, they tell you, oh, you locked up for 6 months or 3 months or whatever. I would be very careful about that. Anyone who locks you up for no reason, right? Not like ETH2, you should really think hard before you give them any coins. But here, the protocol itself locks up the coins. That's why they're paying higher yield, and you get to benefit from it. Again, we are giving it to you one-to-one. We're not charging any fees. We're not taking anything. That's why like Coinbase is paying you 6%, and on exactly the same thing, Celsius pays you 8% as of next week. Next question.
Okay, Killian's asking about XRP. Why is it that nobody can take a loan with XRP as collateral anymore?
Because we hired their architect. No, just kidding. Because right now in the US, again, there's still litigation going on. If XRP is a security, then we would be lending you against the security. You don't need a special license for that. And so we don't want to get into that, gray area with the regulators. So we rather be more safe. Again, our job is to protect the entire pool, right? Now make sure no bad apples come in, make sure we don't step on any landmine called regulatory issues. So we're just being super careful. We might be doing it for no reason, but we'd rather be careful than trip something and have you, we've paid you guys $500 million. Do you want us to risk that for a few loans on XRP? That's why. Next question.
Right. Okay, Milo's asking, can we get an update on the Series B round, a time frame for its launch?
Yeah, it's coming soon. Again, we're working with Bank to the Future, with everybody else. Again, we're not going to leave anyone at the bus stop. You waiting for this round, we're going to let you in, okay? Don't worry about it. We're not, just like we did last time, right? We allowed everyone who wanted to participate to come in. We're doing this to include the community. We're not doing this to kind of just say, oh, we opened the window and then we didn't let anyone in, or we just allowed our friends in. This is not Coinbase, right? How many Coinbase users got to participate in the company's success before the IPO? How many? Close to zero. So we want to be the opposite of that. So we're going to allow as many of you as possible to go to the moon. Okay. Next.
Okay. Let's see. I got some questions about the credit card, about in-app swaps. Otis is in the chat. What's going on, Otis? We met some of your friends here. You got amazing people.
Otis is the friendliest guy ever. He's got friends everywhere. We go on Clubhouse. Everybody's like Otis's friend. We go to Miami. Everybody. He's like, I'm telling you, he is the community. He's like, BlockFi, still Otis.
Yeah. Okay. Stop Struggling Now is asking, is yield percentage week to week? Does this mean that it's not true APY? Can it fluctuate?
I'll take the rates can fluctuate, so they can move up and down week to week. But if you want to look historically and see, how stable they have been over the last few years, you can check out Celsians.com, and they have a little rate breakdown there.
They took it down for maintenance, so they're not. I did the same mistake earlier today. I was talking, and I was like, "Look at Celsians.com." Boom. So we need what's her name? The guys who ran Celsians.com were running with a torch for a long time. They need to hand off the torch now. In the Olympics, you have to hand off the torch. So we're actually looking for a new group to handle it, to a community-based effort that kind of tracks all of our activities. So if you're interested, you want to run it, let us know. CEO@Celsius.network, and we will give you the keys so you can basically maintain and run that site. Next question.
All right. Tyler Fitzpatrick is asking, when will US Celsius users be able to earn in-sell token on our crypto assets?
I think it's June now. It got pushed a little bit, security issues, blah, 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 but it's in the June release. And again, all we're doing is we're paying you in sell. That sell, the piece we paid you, 2.5 sell or whatever, is locked for 12 months, and then it becomes unlocked. But otherwise, everything else is the same. The rates are the same and so on. You do need to show us that you're accredited, and then you can participate in the program. So if you want to get your accreditation stuff ready for June, you will be included in the program. Next question.
All right. Question here from Mad Fisher's asking, is Celsius planning to offer extra benefits or rewards for enabling HODL mode?
HODL mode is a security feature, but traditional institutions will do a CD where you get locked up for a period of time. We've been building locking mechanisms in the background. So there's a chance that we'll have like some products that allow for you to increase your yield by locking for a longer period of time, but nothing planned for just hitting HODL mode and earning a higher rate. It's a security feature. I use it on my phone or on my app because doesn't get more secure than that. Literally, no one can withdraw any funds from my wallet. So keep using it. It's good that you're doing that.
So to add to that, you have to think of Celsius as a 5-year CD that allows you to get out anytime you want, right? Because basically what Celsius does, we already pay you the highest rate, but instead of locking you up like other people do, we basically say to you, good, look, we have so many new depositors, we have so much coming in through the door that if you want to walk out, you can walk away at any time with as much as you want. You can come and deposit 10 million in the morning and change your mind in the afternoon and withdraw all of it, and you're not going to have any issues, right? So why? Because we have so much liquidity, we have so much coming in that we can do that. Most other people just cannot do that. That's why they'll lock you up, right? Locking you up and pretending to pay a little bit more is a bug, not a feature. Next question.
Right. Kind of like, and it's interesting talking to people that they feel like lockups are the standards. Like, oh, how long do I have to put my money away, or how
Right.
can I pull it out within 6 months? And it's like, these are your coins, right? You can keep them anytime. But they feel like
that's what banks do, right? Banks make you lock up for like 2 years and give you 0.5%, half of 1%, and you lock it up for. I mean, they're thieves because they make 16, 17% with your money. They can easily pay you much more and not lock it up. So it's just a daytime robbery,
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, getting some questions about like the mining business. Why do we choose to get in the mining business? How is mining going? How is this going to benefit the community long term?
Hey, mind your own business. What are you asking questions? No, just kidding. Look, mining is we want to be net. We want to have net positive exposure to Bitcoin, and mining effectively gives us that. So we also happen to buy the equipment and put the facilities in place and everything else when Bitcoin was, I don't know, $8,000. So our cost of production is very, very low compared to other people that are just getting into that business right now. So it's a great way. It's another source of yield for the community. So it diversifies our source. So even when yields, for example, on DeFi drop or the yield on exchanges drop, mining now starts every day. Mining is contributing more and more and more to stabilize the rates that we can pay out to the community.
And
so it's a great balancer for our yield.
We're a unique miner too, in that like though our expenses are in dollars, like normally a mining company has to liquidate their Bitcoin to pay their expenses. They make the delta they pocket as cash. Celsius is our liabilities are in Bitcoin, so we keep the Bitcoin as we start printing more. Hopefully more miners do that because it decreases sell pressure.
Yeah,
and
Michael Saylor was talking about
gets to see every day. Waseem gets to see all that virgin Bitcoin just joining the other virgin Bitcoins that are sitting there in that special wallet that we have. Because virgin Bitcoin that just got mined is special. It's worth much more than a Bitcoin that's been in circulation for 12 years and who knows who owned it and so on. So when an institution comes to us and says, hey, I want to buy coins, they'll pay more for a virgin Bitcoin, right? So those are the things that we do. And like Waseem said, all of our liability to the community, right? We owe you Bitcoin. We don't owe you dollars. When you give us Bitcoin, we owe you Bitcoin, right? Interest in Bitcoin. So it's a great match for our liabilities.
Okay, Greg's asking, what do you see as the next use case for Cell Token, or what are going to be the other utilities that we can integrate Cell Token in?
So look, every day, thousands of people join, and again, Waseem was way ahead of the curve here, understanding this 2.5 years ago that, okay, look, the Cell Token thing is gonna become a real, is going to have real utility, because as people get used to the fact that you can earn this yield and this token has real value, it will be able to be used for many, many things. Like we're already using it as collateral. We're already using it to take loans, to issue loans, right? All these different things beyond just the traditional use cases for sell, which are the just earn more and pay less for loans. So we definitely are just, we continue to explore that and explore the use cases.
Can I leak anything?
Sorry?
Can I leak one of the future? So just as it, like, as you start to increase the amount of like transaction volume on the token, the market cap and so on, like the liquidity rises, you can start to use the asset as like a, you know, like a collateral asset. So Cell token can become collateral. We're doing that in the centralized world now, but as, you know, volume continues to grow, you can move into the decentralized world, and, you know, you can have programmatic stable coins, think like MakerDAI, think like, you know, there's a new one that came out called Liquid T, so LUSD, these kinds of things. So Celsius will increasingly be able to engage in the world of DeFi, and the Cell token is the thing that will empower us as an institution and our users, therefore, to be able to do so.
Right, and our Maker application and Aave application are all public information. So as we're being added to those platforms as supported assets, Cell token being a supported asset on those platforms, the use case for itself explodes, right? Because suddenly you can do 100 new things that you couldn't do a day before. Next.
Yeah. Okay, John Galt Dividends is asking, talk about demand from institutions to borrow our coins as Celsius deposits increase in size and value.
Yeah, so the good news is that it's not just Celsius that is growing this fast, right? I mean, if you're looking at the growth of the crypto community in general, you're looking at the growth of DeFi, the growth of institutional participation, just how many institutions are in this business, they're all 10xing, right? It's not just Celsius growing and everybody else shrinking or staying in place. So because of that, we have room, right? Yes, we're adding legs to the stool, like mining and like retail lending and like DeFi and so on. But we're also, the pie is growing as well, which reduces our pressure or the issues that we would have otherwise by having so much in deposits. But there are effects. It is pushing down rates. We had to lower rates several times, not as much as our competitors, but they had to lower rates because they only had one leg to the stool. We have to lower rates because even though we're deploying on 5 or 6 strategies, having $1.2 billion, $1.3 billion coming in every month does push down rates everywhere. Celsius is pushing down rates on Aave, on Compound, on Maker, and so on. So we are definitely the largest, the 800-pound gorilla in the space in a good way, right? Because again, what we extract, almost again, up to 80% of that goes to you guys. So in a way, it's normally the gorilla keeps it all to itself. It doesn't share. We are very, I always tell my kids, share, learn to share, giving.
Sorry, that just I want to highlight though, like that's why something like a Celsius is like a, you can treat it as a set it and forget it, because we have a bunch of legs to our stool. Whereas like if you're doing your own deployment on like a curve pool or something like that, those work in like in a bull market. But if we enter into a bear market, or if something happens, some new protocol comes out, you want something like Celsius that can also engage in centralized financial transactions that people can see as a counterparty that they interact with. So I think that like as DeFi matures and there's more assets that move into that system, the rates get pushed down. But then Celsius has so many other business lines that have rates that will be above that long run, like you get rate stability at a nicer place with something like Celsius than you would with something like a Compound. Just another thing to add.
Sure. Yeah. And in a normal business, when a new entrant comes in and they suddenly offering something amazing, the old guys usually would catch up and you will meet somewhere halfway, right? Let's say if we're offering 10% and the banks are offering 0.1%, which is 100 times more, 2 orders of magnitude more, you would say, okay, well, these guys are going to meet at 5%, right? That's not what's happening in crypto. In crypto, the banks are not going to move. I guarantee you that the banks 5 years from now are still going to pay these stupid low rates. So it gives crypto much, much more time to effectively dominate and extract all of these assets out of the centralized world. So we have a very a lot of road in front of us before we get squeezed or before we can't really continue to perform much, much better than banks or other financial institutions. Next question.
Yeah, we just had a special guest come in hot from the event floor. Go ahead.
Hi guys. How's it going?
What's up, Kim?
Great. How's the show?
Honestly, one of the best conferences I've ever been to. I can't believe how many new people in the space are here. None of the usual suspects, none of the people we're used to on the circuit. So many women. I'm like, it's been incredible.
Kim,
And
you
now
have fans
you're
too.
local. You're a Florida native now, right? So
Yes. It's been amazing. I cannot even believe the people that we're meeting and talking to, or how many people know our product. Thinking of where we were a year ago, right? And like how we had to go out there and tell people are coming over, lines, Celsius, I love you guys. I can't even, it's incredible.
And this is the first event since Corona, right? I mean, like since basically 2019.
First time we've been out since November of 2019.
My God, it's crazy. All right, well, we're very jealous, and we will be down there on June 4th for the Bitcoin conference, right? You're prepping up for that?
Yes, absolutely.
And you have enough swag. You have enough swag left, because I think you gave up.
We
all
have
the
nothing
shirts.
left. We went through everything. 500 t-shirts, 200 socks, 200 coins gone.
Well, make sure you get some for June 4th. I don't think
we're gearing
the
up. We're
Bitcoin
going to
guys
have
are going to be.
tons of stuff.
All right,
It's going to
perfect.
be really exciting. Great job, guys. Zach, come on back.
Thanks for stopping by.
We're killing it down here.
All right, so let's keep going, guys, because I know we have the questions are coming in super fast. So let's keep it short and try to answer as many people as we can.
Okay, yeah. Mathis right here is asking, how is Celsius going to get less dependent on the price of Bitcoin movements over time?
So again, Bitcoin movement is a good thing for Celsius, not a bad thing, right? Like right now, because of the volatility, we're fully deployed. We have the highest deployment, not just in Bitcoin terms, but also in percentages that we've ever had in the history of Celsius. We had to stretch ourselves to accommodate everybody who wanted coins. So volatility is a good thing for Celsius. It's a good thing for the community. Normally you would say, what are you talking about, Alex? Volatility is horrible. I can't sleep at night. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to check Bitcoin prices. The invisible hand here extracts even more out of the institution, even more out of DeFi on your behalf. And that's what allows us to either maintain rates or increase rates. Those are the things that you want to work on your behalf. It's like a scale. On one side, yes, there's more volatility, but on the other side, you're earning more. So one is compensating for the other. Just without Celsius, you wouldn't be able to extract that, right? You would be basically stuck looking at volatility. Here, you're getting more Bitcoin on your Bitcoin, you're getting more Ethereum on your Ethereum. That is the magic. And by the way, people keep saying to me, well, I must have Cell Token. You don't need to have Cell Token with Celsius. You can just come, put your Bitcoin, earn yield, take out your Bitcoin, take out your interest earned, never own one Cell Token, never touch one Cell Token, and we still love you. Okay, this is not about Cell Token. This is about yield. It's your yield. It's your coins. It's your Bitcoin.
And by holding your assets and not withdrawing them or trying to sell them, you're giving Celsius even more buying power in the market, which just increases yield and allows us to be sustainable and pay the highest rewards. It's a win-win, honestly.
We should do a new segment where we go through Twitter and other Telegram, and we pop up these stupid messages that some of these guys pop up there and say, "Oh, you must own Cell token to be to participate in Celsius." like you want to FUD, go FUD somewhere else.
Right. It's like they want to hate.
We're gonna expose you.
They're digging, they're searching the internet, trying to find something to hate us on, trying to find that one guy that paid a fee and still can't do it.
Right. I tried to get a shirt from Kim and she ran out. Yes, we ran out of shirts. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Just looking through the questions here. Oh, here's something I like. El Holistico is asking, instead of marketing, why not offer irresistible incentives that people cannot resist? I wish I was there at the conference.
I think we are offering irresistible incentives.
Yes.
10.5% on your stable coins is an irresistible. It's too good to be true. We actually have a lot of people who don't deposit, who don't try it because they say you cannot pay 100 times more than the bank. Okay, you must be lying. You must be a scam. This is not true. So again, look at DeFi rate. Now there's like 10 guys trying to do the same thing, right? Look at the rates that other people are offering, right? So they're pretty much close to Celsius. Celsius is still the highest, with the exclusion. There's this Fulcrum, whatever, I don't know who they are, but basically many other providers are now doing the same thing. So when others are doing the same thing, we just been doing it for 3.5 years, and the other guys are begrudgingly are forced to pay you what you should be paid from day one, right? I mean, Coinbase is still paying you 0.1% on stable coins, right?
Also,
you can
like,
go there.
Just to note though, our marketing is less so like, here's a deal, like, sale or whatever slapped on. It's like education, like the stuff that Alex does every, Friday, and the sell bites, and you'll start to see the website updates that have like, where the point is not to like sell you on something like in a gimmicky marketing way, but like we're here to educate, and that's how Celsius seems to like spend its marketing dollars.
Yeah, and I see in the questions, a lot of people are saying, okay, web app. So last week of May, that's what it looks like right now. Again, we just had to do a few more security things, and that version will already have many new features because it will be basically version 1.1. So today, only ambassadors have access to it. If you become an ambassador, you'll get access. Otherwise, you have to wait till end of May. And licenses, specifically California, sounds like we're going to get it earlier than what I promised. So again, either May or June, we will be opening California to everybody to take loans, crypto loans. So that's great news.
Beautiful.
So again, BNB, Cardano, loans in California, web app, a million things, right? Cranking. And like I said to you guys, when it comes, it's going to come as a torrent, not as a little, so all these things are now coming basically at the same time.
Yeah, in our growth, we see like these cycles of it'll be fairly steady and then pump up, and then we kind of reach a new plateau, and then it goes even higher. So we are like right now we're preparing for the next wave of growth, right? As these new users come aboard. Khalik is asking, in sake of transparency, how do you decide the weekly rates for each asset? Do we use an algorithm or some sort of metric?
In sake of transparency, will you show how you are deciding? Yeah, so in the proof of community, part of the proof of community is showing you how much did we earn and how much of that did you get in each pool. Meaning, let's take the BTC pool. Okay, how much BTC did the pool earn? And if you are, it will tell you are 1.27% of the BTC pool, and this is how much you earn. And you can compare it to your wallet, or it will show you how much you should have earned. you can compare it to your wallet and see if you're actually earning what you're supposed to earn or not, right? So proof of community is giving you that funnel of what went out, right? What loans were issued, what came back in terms of yield, how much assets are in that pool, who you're competing with, right? Because some of the pool is coins from what do you call it? From collateral. Some of it is coins from retail loans and so on. But you need to know how much of it is yours, and then you can verify that you actually got what you're supposed to get. So the rate is an outcome of that. If the flow makes sense, then the rate will be basically translated into what we're paying out. The rate is just saying, okay, the ratio between what was earned and what's in the pool is 5.7% or 10.5% or whatever it is.
To add on that, for like finance geek people, something that's really cool about Celsius is that the rates that we pay, so our cost of capital, is actually a function of our demand side business, so how much we earn. So when you think about, you know, sustainability of Celsius as an entity, we have a variable rate because the market on a variable basis will start to value the, you know, Bitcoin more. So people will pay more to borrow Bitcoin. Therefore, you hit 80% of that, or you take 80% of that, and then that becomes the rate that we can distribute to the users. Normally, you have like a business that defines like supply side rates. They say, we're going to give you 0.3%, whatever, take it. There's nothing else you got. And then they go out and lend, and they try and, you know, lend for as high of a rate as possible. Celsius is just saying, we'll lend for as high of a rate as possible, but the cost of capital that Celsius will pay is always going to be a function of the rates that we're able to generate on that. And this proof of community thing Alex was talking about will kind of give you insight into seeing that. But this is how things are run, are still run today. Always a function of demand, less so just a random number on the supply side.
Yep. Wow, a lot of questions. Crazy. So let me do a special, okay? $500. We're going to give you guys $500 if you have any Python skills, right? We need to hire at least like a dozen Python programmers. So not if you have a Python at home as a pet, only if you have Python skills, okay? So again, send your resume to Celsius, to CEO@celsius.network. And we'll give you $500 extra if we hire you. We're gonna get a $500 sign-up bonus for joining us. We need more and more Python programmers. Again, you can be remote, you can be in Austin. We have an office in Atlanta, San Francisco, Florida, you know, New York, New Jersey, you name it, right? San Diego. So, and obviously places in Europe and other places, obviously in Europe, we have an office in Australia, Hong Kong, so you name it, right? Berlin, I can't even name all the city. London, we have like 20 people in London now. Cyprus, 30 people in Cyprus. So it doesn't matter where you are, you have skills, we need you. You love crypto, you know what you're doing. Prove to us that you know what you're doing. We're gonna hire you like this, okay?
Right.
So,
right. Jobs. I want to send all those resumes to jobs@celsius.network. That's the HR team that's going to be going through and collect that $500.
I know. Yes, you can send it also there, but specifically for Python, I'm just talking about Python programmers, people with Python skills, and graduate of Babson College. No, just kidding.
You send us also like your GitHub. And then Rog, the wizard on our team, will review your GitHub and then see if you have you have what it takes. Your GitHub and your DGen score. If you give us those two and they're both good enough, you're on the team.
I just heard about the DGen score where they look at your MetaMask and like it's your history of trades on DeFi and they give you a ranking. I said, that's genius, you know?
Right. All right, next question. Yeah, wow, it's flying so fast.
Yeah, let's keep busting them out here. A lot of people got a lot of things to say. It's asking, can we convert our ETH into ETH2 to get that 8%? Or how does that whole, I don't know much about ETH2 myself, but how is this ETH and ETH2 going to work, and can we transition our ETH into the ETH2 wallet?
Yeah, so phase one, you have to make a new deposit to benefit from ETH2. You just take your normal ETH, you put it into that special ETH2 address, and it automatically starts earning the higher yield. Phase one, you will not be able to take your ETH at Celsius and move it to inside the Celsius wallet. But phase two, which is probably a month or two later, you'll be able to actually move even inside the wallet. You'll be able to take regular ETH that's earning a little bit less and push it to become ETH2. Again, when you move between the two, you effectively agreeing to lock up your ETH until Ethereum launches the new chain or the new version, which allows it to basically utilize ETH, and so you're effectively locked up again, not by Celsius, but by the Ethereum network, and that's why you're getting paid higher yield. So,
Gotcha.
but for now, when you see it in the wallet, when you see ETH2 in the wallet, that's just a new address to deposit the same ETH. You can deposit in the old address or the new address. It's just that one of them is not locked and one of them is locked. So those are decisions you have to make.
Okay. All right. Last couple questions here. This one from Masyak asking, why would you give out 0% loans? How is that sustainable? And what's the advantage of doing that from Celsius? How can we offer a 0% loan?
Yeah, so 1% loan or 0% loan for us is almost the same thing, right? We explained this several times. When you do a 25% LTV loan, you give us $4 worth of Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin for every $1 worth of loan that we give you. So it doesn't matter for us if it's 0% or 1%. What matters is that we basically are earning. We still rehypothecate, we still lend out the coins, but we get to keep that interest. And with part of that interest, about half of it goes to borrow dollars that we lend you out, right? So we still make money. You make money because you're paying much less interest than anywhere else. And it's a win-win for both of us, right? You get to use the dollars to pay off your credit cards, pay student loans, buy a Tesla. We get to rehypothecate or lend out more coins on which we don't have to pay that much interest, so we benefit as well, and it's a win-win. Again, there's several videos about this, explaining this in more detail. Just look on our YouTube channel or on our website, and the math works. I promise you, we're not doing any monkey business there. Next question.
Yeah. All right, I think this will be the last one. It's from Jacob Piper, who's a huge supporter on Twitter. He's asking, could Celsius do a Celsius Learn and give out one cell token, kind of like how Coinbase pays out in crypto, so that we can help
earn? I like it.
Yes.
Yeah. So we look. We'll start a competition here today. We need to create like the Celsius Can Academy. We're looking for someone who's exceptional to run that. So it's all going to be about educational stuff. I'm not sure if we can pay. We probably can pay in DAI or some other coin. Again, cell token for Americans is still a problem, but we will do learn and earn. We just need someone exceptional who can teach people, right? Someone who can do the video, do the charts. For example, like this 0% loan, explain to people in a visual way why this makes sense, why it's beneficial for both sides, how the math works, and so on. So those are that's, I think, is the best way to solve this. Again, thank you guys for joining. Waseem, Zach, Kim, Tom, Bethany, everybody, Rena, everybody who helped put this show together. Thanks for joining us. Every week we try to share with you the information. Let me just, before we forget, no new bad loans, no liquidations, no institutional defaults or anything like that since last week. But again, we're here to educate you. We're here to share with you, and we want to grow as a community and continue doing good, right? And then doing well. And this movement, this yield, the demand for yield, the fact that now over 620,000 people are expecting yield in their lives. It's like it's like just like I get like a sandwich or I get a glass of milk. I deserve yield. Where's my yield? Right? So we changed behavior. And I'm very proud of that. Again, the Celsius team, the community, basically demanding that from everybody now, demanding it from other vendors, demanding it from exchanges, from wallets, from everybody, right? It became a standard now. Everybody must pay you yield. Otherwise, they're going to lose all their customers. So, and we need to basically push that all the way to the financial system, to the banks, to the financial institution who still look at us and think we're crazy and think they can just ignore all of this and pretend like nothing has changed, nothing has moved, and it's still 2008, So we're here to change things. We're here to make things better. And don't forget, again, share the love, educate others, share this information, like this video, share it. That's how people are going to learn about it and change their ways and build a path to financial freedom, to financial independence. And don't get bogged down or bothered by markets going sideways or down, right? That's just part of markets, right? If it goes up every day, that's not a market. So right now, there's a little volatility. If you want to buy a little bit more Bitcoin, again, it's a good time to buy a little bit more and to average your price in. And, thank you for joining, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Celsians by the dips.